everyone, this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. When we left off in the previous episode, most of our coven members, led by our champion Guinevere, discovered that Serana was responsible for the recent deaths that have been happening in the Empire. Namely, our scholar Meredith Dravage was killed by her. And then, more recently, we had the death of His Highness Prince Voldemort Karamazov. So, what happened in the mini-movie of this episode? We started off with a trial that the Queen held in public for Serana. Now, typically this sort of thing happens very privately. The ladies discuss it amongst themselves, maybe in the throne room. The decision is kind of made, and then whatever happens, happens. But because outsiders were involved this time, someone from the visitant group had died, well, visitant royalty had died, and the visitants themselves, they came to court to demand answers, so the Queen felt as though it was only right to summon them so that they could witness this as well, which is why a special place was built in the castle grounds that this trial could take place. And the Queen essentially said that Serana, she's undergoing a trial for the murders, there's irrefutable evidence against her, and we did go through those things, mainly testimonies in the previous episode while Guinevere was investigating. And I think Princess Juno's testimony was the most important one. And then the Queen asked Serana if she has any lost words. Serana, it seems, was not exactly that remorseful. She was kind of smiling throughout it, and she was saying how she did what she had to do for her bloodline, and it worked. Like, she doesn't regret what she did, and there's nothing really to say or to explain to anyone in regards to what happened. I suppose even though she knows the first time round wasn't her fault, she doesn't feel as though it has to be discussed in any depth, because it's not going to change the outcome of what's to happen, since the second time round with the prince, that definitely was of her own volition. So she can't exactly say that, well, I didn't intend to, I was forced to, because the second time around she wasn't forced to. So she's kind of taking the blame for everything, and even though, partly it is her fault, but she is taking the blame. And then she said, don't act like you're all better than me or you're different than me, because if you were in the same position I was in, you would do what I did. But the Queen was quick to step in and say, no, Lady Serana, we are not the same. My grandmother bore 7 sons before she had a daughter. There is no excuse for such cowardice. So, the past queens sometimes have struggled to have their princess, but even then they have not resorted to devil magic the way that Serana has. So the Queen feels as though that's inexcusable. And also, as far as Eden's concerned, her situation is very different to Serana's. She's had 3 daughters by this point, and she hasn't had to work that hard for them. So I don't think she understands or can tolerate the desperation that Serana probably felt, especially with the Queen putting pressure on her to have a girl. So there was that. And then we had a new member join us, someone that we are familiar with, but we haven't seen in a while. The new physician, Lady Azura Valenka. So the Queen summoned her to the trial, and she said that you are going to be Serana's executioner. And just before this, the Queen did announce that she's going to sentence Serana to death for her unforgivable crimes. And so Azura over here, she took on that mantle. She said, "Yes, Your Majesty, it's an honor to serve you and the Coven. And I hope this brings peace to us all, especially on this day. It is the day of the goddess, after all." So that's how we are starting off the day of the goddess, guys, with a trial and with a death. So Azura's job right now is to go ahead and execute Serana. And this scene to me feels it's reminiscent, because I went back and I watched the episode where Serana delivers the same sentence to her twin sister Xiomara for the, kidnapping Princess Kyra. and turning the certain members of the army against the Salazars and the Coven, and also enchanting Elaine. So I watched that episode, and it felt like Serana was so innocent back then. She was so new, and she hadn't been exposed to any of these politics and these fears. And her sister, they were the same age, but her sister felt so much more mature. She was ultimately a little bit different from Serana, because Serana was a mortal. She aged, whereas her sister was an immortal. So her sister, was ageless. So she had maybe slightly different perspective on things than Serana did. And her sister told her that don't think you're safe with the vampires, because no matter how much you try, you'll never truly be one of them, and you'll never truly be safe. Like, they will turn on you any moment they want to turn on you, or they feel like it's okay to. They'll never have your best interests at heart. And I feel like Serana took that advice with a grain of salt, but lo and behold, she's now in that exact same spot, being delivered the exact same sentence. So it makes me sad, because right now, this Serana that is about to be executed, I don't feel for her, and I don't, I'm not heartbroken for her, because I really am cheesed off that she killed Prince Voldemort and she killed Meredith. I loved those characters. So as far as I'm concerned, she deserves this, but the person I do feel bad for is that innocent Serana from back then, before she had all these kids, before she came in, before she was turned, all those kind of things. I feel bad for that Serana, before she let the fear take over and the fear control her into doing these terrible, terrible things. So, okay guys, we're going to dive into this episode. We're going to carry out this execution. And we're also going to take a look at Azura, actually, in a little bit. And Azura's identity is no doubt special, because Azura over here, Lady Azura now, she is half visitant. So she has the complete coloring, hair, eyes, and skin of visitant spellcasters. So her father was Ethel Tilke. And actually her twin brother is Rick. Now he, unfortunately, did not inherit the horns, because mainly I forgot about it. But with Azura's arrival, I have remembered that the boys of visitant descent should have horns. So Rick doesn't. I'm just going to say in the story, maybe he didn't inherit any of that. But his son, he's got a son, Chance. His son should inherit the horns when he becomes, I think, a teen. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that. And if I forget, guys, please remind me. Chance, I think is his name Chance? I think it's Chance. Let's look at the family tree. His son needs horns. Yes, Lord Chance Covenrose. So, guys, when he turns into a teen, please remind me to give him horns, because he is of visitant descent. So that has to happen. And I actually really like the way Azura looks now after her makeover. She's obviously grown out her hair quite a lot. She's got those beautiful purple eyes. She's got the purplish pink hair, a mauve-colored hair. And she's got this light blue, frosty blue skin. And she looks great. She looks really, really good. But yeah, she's half visitant. And I feel like it's going to be intriguing to see the way Kyra approaches Azura, because from what we've seen and what we know about Kyra, she's very pro-spellcaster. So she loves and is fascinated by the spellcasters. It's why she was kind of close to Serana in the beginning. And I feel like recently she's been occupied with other things. She's kind of fallen or grown apart from her, but she was very fascinated with Serana in the beginning. So Azura has that spellcaster side. But then we also know that Kyra isn't very tolerant of her youngest sister Eve, and she's not very fond of Eve. She's kind of jealous of her and doesn't see what's special about her. And she does feel a bit strongly that her father is an invader, and so she's not the same as Kyra. And here we have a half spellcaster and a half visitant. So Azura's father is also an invader, right? he's also someone that was with Prince Voldemort in the army against these guys. So I feel like her identity is very special. So I'm curious to see whether Kyra is going to love her or Kyra is going to hate her. We'll have to see. But her traits, she is self-absorbed, a perfectionist, and lazy. So I feel like, I mean, again, we'll have to see, but I feel like almost with Azura, she is used to probably being like treated specially because of a particular identity as a half visitant, half spellcaster. She was the first, she and her brother were the first half visitants to be born in the Empire. So I feel like she had a special identity growing up with that. People were probably very careful with her, even in the embassy, because, you know, they didn't want to destroy something that was so hard earned in a way. And I feel like also because of how different she looks from everyone, she would have been told over and over again that she's so beautiful, that she's so fascinating, that she's so lovely, and she's so different. So I feel like that would have gotten to her head just a little bit. So she is self-absorbed in that regard. And, you know, lazy, like I said, because people are treating her so carefully that they're not making her do all the typical hard work that a physician or a spellcaster would have to do. They're letting her get away with the bare minimum because they don't want to damage her in any way. So there is that. But I feel like with a perfectionist trait, Azura has this thing where she likes maintaining this perfect image of herself. So if she is going to be lazy, she'll try and find a reasonable excuse for that so that she doesn't look lazy. And then she's going to try and do things that make her look good, right? So I feel like that's Azura. But she doesn't look like someone who is insecure at all. So very, very different to the Coven Roses. I feel like the Coven Rose sisters had secrets, they were insecure, they got fearful, they did stupid things, but Azura is different. She doesn't have an ounce of insecurity in her. She's grown up very, very differently to that. So let's go ahead and carry on this sentence. This is the last we shall see of Serana. So we're going to go ahead, cast a deadly spell, and here we go. Here we go. Now the other thing about Azura, guys, she is an immortal. Okay, here goes Serana. Here goes Serana. And guys, you know, I was going to say that, yep, look at Azura. She is, guys, Azura is an immortal. So she's like Xiomara was. Which means she is not going to be aging. She's going to be kind of the same age, ageless, like the vampires, I suppose. But the good thing with her is that everyone knows this from the beginning. Everyone knows it, and I feel like Azura herself would have been upfront about the fact that she is immortal. So this is not a terrible secret that she's hiding. Whereas with Xiomara, everyone thought she was mortal, but she wasn't. It was a secret she was hiding. So Azura is in a very, very safe place right now. Okay. Bye-bye, Serana. Bye-bye. It's kind of sad. Also, I'm realizing we do have to put her in these groups. You're in Aphrodite summoning? You're gonna have to get out of that group, honey. She's going to have to. Actually, I suppose we could just change Aphrodite summoning to like a spellcastery thing or a physician thing. Just because if she joins another group, it'll be under someone else's control. Probably easier to do it this way. Okay, rather than Aphrodite summoning, we'll do Azura's, not companions, but Magic Society? Yeah, we'll do Azura's Magic Society. Lady Azura's Magical Connections. Okay, there we go. And then we can invite whoever we need to invite to take part in this. She could invite family members like Ethel and Valenka or Rick. But we shall see. We shall see. I'll leave that be for now. But she definitely needs the blood givers. She needs the flippin' blood givers. Oh, we're also in the Magical Research Society. Well, we're gonna exit this because we aren't the leaders, and I would very much like to be the leader. Can we... So we can't dismiss... Can we leave the group? Yeah. Okay, nice. So we've left the group. I suppose we'll have to wait till this is done with Sarana, and then we'll be able to... I'm gonna have to rush her inside soon! But hopefully the umbrella's helping a little bit. But as soon as Sarana is well and truly gone and turned into a ghost, we are going to get her access to the blood givers, because she's going to be summoning the blood givers over. Okay. Here goes Sarana, guys. And just like that, Sarana is no more. She is no more. Okay, but this does mean that Sarana is going to be joining. She's gonna join the... What is the place that we have? Jeez, I can't even remember what it's called. But it's in the Generation 3 castle. That's where we put all the remains of the spellcasters. So she's gonna join that place. Okay, and now we should be able to give you access to the blood givers. Okay, where is the blood givers? Okay, the first blood givers, and then we want the second blood givers. No. We want to join. Okay, second blood givers. Good. Nice. So we've got all of that sorted. Excellent, excellent. And now you, honey, need to go on inside. So I could probably turn autonomy, autonomy back on at this point. Yes. Let's take you back inside, because I feel like it's dangerous to be loitering around. Actually, rather than going back inside, come here and tell the queen. Tell the queen that it has been done. So we're gonna sing about the day of the goddess. We're gonna say that what had to be done is done. That has been complete. And this does mean, of course, that Silk Frost will be leaving. Now that the bonded spellcaster to Silk Frost has died, Silk Frost will also be leaving. And I don't think Azora is going to have a magic cat of her own, guys. I think after 2 magic cats, I am a little bit over the idea of a magic cat. So, I mean, we might resume it in the future at some point, but for now, I don't think I want a magic cat for Azora. So, there we go. She's let the queen know. A bunch of these guys obviously are going to be sad because they didn't necessarily see it coming. Juno doesn't feel sad. She's been wary of Sarana from the beginning. Kyra also doesn't feel too sad. She was, that is not the best because she was close to Sarana at some point, but I suppose she's grown that far apart, she just doesn't care. I feel like it shows a little bit how Kyra has become a little bit too self-absorbed, like wrapped up in her own problems. But Azora definitely is disheartened by this, because she knew Sarana and Xiomara growing up. And then Catalea, she's new. And also, she kind of came here with Sarana's assistance, so I think she cares about her life more than Sarana's. Catherine would have been friends with Sarana, or she had this want to become friends. I think they were close before and they kind of grew apart, and Catherine wanted to rekindle that, but then it came out that Sarana was involved in, these murders, so obviously she's very shocked by that. Lagatha would be happy because her sister's killer was just killed, So, you know, Meredith got justice. Elaine over here. Elaine is Elaine, okay? Elaine's known what Serana was up to for a long time. So I think she's quite happy that she got her just desserts. Guinevere seems to have some mixed emotions. So I suppose, yeah, they were friends. So I suppose before, you know, Guinevere discovered that Serana was at fault, she was friends with her in court, and she had a good impression of her in court. But I suppose she didn't have a problem with kind of dealing with Serana as a murderer once it came out that that's what Serana was. But I think she feels a bit upset by the fact that someone she thought was trustworthy turned out to be the way she was. Like, Serana let them down. And Eden, of course, is very, very upset by this whole death. Because she considered Serana a friend, but she also considered Meredith a friend, and obviously we know that Voldemort was important. So I think it feels like a huge betrayal to her that Serana turned around and killed two people that were important to her. So I feel like right now she's the saddest probably because of that. Ay. Okay, well, the day isn't over for the ladies yet. We will have to see if the goddess is pleased with the turn of events, because these ladies, they have to go to the temple, they do have to pray, and we do have offerings that need to be made. So I'll see you guys once I've got everyone set up. Everyone is in the temple praying to the goddess, and Silkfrost has left us, guys. He might be wandering around the castle, I'm not too sure, but he is no longer part of the family, obviously because of Serana's death, so there's nothing kind of binding him to this place anymore. He's not attached to anything, so he has gone. You can see everyone's needs have been replenished because the goddess has blessed them during this prayer that they're doing. But now, Catherine, she is going to lead the offerings, obviously because she isn't pregnant this time around, like she was last time. I think the last time we had a Day of the Goddess, she doesn't have to exclude herself from the offerings, so she is going to be making the first offering to the Sacred Wishing Well. So she's going to do that, but what she does have to do is pick out of everyone in the coven a second. So she needs to select a second that is going to be representing the evil face of the coven, and going to be making an offering in that regard to balance things out. So let's take a look at her relationships. Whoever she has the lowest relationship with is the Sim that is going to make that offering. Now, last time it was Kyra, and that was kind of scary. But let's go ahead and see. And, oh, it's quite clear. Seems as though Juno is in the firing line this time around. So she's going to select Juno, Princess Juno, as her second. Okay. And how are you doing, Elaine? Hold on a second. How are you doing, Elaine? She is currently in her second trimester. Oh my goodness, you look so cute. Elaine, you're adorable. You're adorable. But okay. So, Juno, you're going to come out and make an offering after Catherine is done. So, ooh, the Wishing Well does not look too great right now. We did just have a death, so I wonder... so, in between the previous Day of the Goddess and this one, we had that whole devil magic thing where Meredith died, and then Voldemort died, so... And then it ended with, obviously, Serana dying. So I assume the goddess not accepting the prayers previously, or the offerings, was maybe like an omen that something bad was going to happen in the coven. But I think everyone's hoping that their actions, especially bringing Serana's crimes to light, is going to help improve the situation within the Empire, and the goddess is going to be kind of happy with the work they've been doing. So, Catherine, let's come out here. Let's make an offering, and then offer your prayers. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. All the good time spent with Bryce Runner, that's nice. Okay, let's take a look. I'm very nervous because I can see the deathly hood. Okay. So it seems as though the wishing well is kind of pleased. That is a good sign. Okay, she's gonna wish for, she's gonna, wish for happiness. She's gonna pray for the coven's happiness. So let's take a look. Was that offering accepted? So she made this offering on behalf of good, obviously. Okay, well, it was a mixed response. It was not accepted. Yikes. Okay, her prayers were not accepted, I suppose. Well, she is gonna head back inside, and now Princess Juno, who's representing kind of evil, I suppose, she is gonna come, and she is going to do the same thing. She's gonna make an offering, and then do her prayers. So let's take a look, Juno. Last time your sister was in the firing line. Hopefully things go better for her than it did for Kyra. Kyra was mortified, but thankfully she didn't die. I think you guys said that there is something against people dying from mortification, or is it specifically teens? Because of the Parenthood pack, I think? Something like that. I suppose because the Sims, if you have that pack, do go through emotional outbursts and whatnot. But there are many other ways of dying, not all of which you can avoid. Okay, well, the wishing well doesn't seem to be too happy, but let's offer our prayers. She's gonna wish for skills, and then we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Come on, Juno. Come on. Okay, things aren't looking that bad, I think. Oh, okay. Yikes. Yikes, but that's okay. The hood's here now. It's dangerous to make a wish when the hood's on. Okay. Yikes. So, the well is displeased at Princess Juno's attempts to take shortcuts in life, and now she'll struggle to make progress in any skills. How long does that last for? 4 hours, not that bad. Okay, fogged mind. So it seems as though their wishes were not, or their prayers were not accepted, which is kind of scary. And I hope it doesn't mean that anything worse is going to happen in the coven, but I think it was because perhaps the goddess, perhaps like after the previous warning, the goddess was unhappy that it took 2 lives for the vampires to realize what was going on. And really, I think it's pointing to the fact that Elaine kept all these secrets. Juno kept that secret from everyone but Elaine. Elaine kept that secret from everyone, and it allowed stuff to just spiral and spiral and spiral. So, hopefully, we are going to be entering better times from here, but I think everyone just generally feels a bit more peace. This is going to make them reflect on their actions and hopefully prevent such things from happening again in the future. Okay, well, that was nice. Why don't we get everyone to go about their day? Let's turn autonomy back on. So let these ladies do what they want. And I will have to go and add the urn. Is it the repository? I think so. The soul repository, that's right. I'm gonna have to add the urn to the soul repository in Oasis Springs. But once that, I'll probably do that off camera in all honesty. I think I'll do that off camera. But let's take a look and see what other things these lovelies want to go ahead and do. Any whims they have, because I feel as though they might have a few. I'll try and focus on the relationships in the castle itself. Especially now that we have Azura here, I feel like that's kind of important. Okay, Kyra, she wanted to chat with Lady Lagatha. So we shall get her to come and chat to Lagatha. Let's sing about the Day of the Goddess. Why not? Hopefully that counts as chatting. So go ahead and do that. I feel like for her, I mean, she's not exactly processing or that heartbroken about Serana's death. Not at all, by any means. But I feel like even so... Oop. Where you going? Lagatha, honey, calm down. Calm down. Maybe show off your powers. I think that would be cute. Show Lagatha how much progress you've made in all your training. That's bound to make her happy. Come on, princess. Where are you going? Where are you going? You're coming here to maybe converse with the queen? No? No? Can Kyra not access you? Kyra? I can see Juno. She's enjoying herself. Oh my goodness, did she just do a backflip on the skating rink? Whoa, Juno. Juno. Yeah, she's having the time of her life. Okay, you know what, Lagatha? Is it because you're laughing? Okay, finally. I think she's going down to chat with the princess. Good. Good. Right outside the wishing well as well. Okay, you come on down. You converse with her. I don't know what the princess wants to talk to you about, but I feel like when confusing things happen, maybe the princess is a little bit freaked out by how all of this happened kind of under her nose, and she didn't even suspect Serana. She didn't even know that, you know, members of the coven could turn on each other like this. Like, she's grown up thinking it's a very safe environment, because that's the way she's been made to feel. But I think this whole incident is making her realize that's not entirely the case, and maybe she wants to talk it through with Lagatha. Because I feel like Kyra and Lagatha's relationship is such that when Kyra comes across something that she doesn't understand or that bewilders her, she automatically goes back to the very first teacher she had, which was the Broodmother, and asking the Broodmother to explain certain things to her. Which, you know, she's closer to Guinevere, but Guinevere can also be a very overpowering personality. And when you're feeling... like, when you want confidence, you go to Guinevere, right? Or when you want affection, you go to Guinevere. But when you want reassurance, you go to Lagatha. So there's that. And Azura seems to be drawn to Guinevere as soon as she's come in. So that's kind of fascinating. I suppose she feels as though she should make a good impression on the champion and align herself possibly with the champion, especially since the previous spellcaster was kind of delivered a death sentence through Guinevere's investigation. So let's go ahead and gossip about ancient vampires. Let's go ahead and do that. And I feel like it's a good idea as well, because Guinevere... this is so funny, but Guinevere is the one who, even with Xiomara, she discovered Xiomara's secret. Obviously, she had more of a role in bringing Xiomara down than Serana. She just investigated and put pieces together with Serana. But I think Azura is realizing that, if I want to last here, I should probably be on Guinevere's good side. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good move, Azura. Now, for Catalea, she wants to chat with Eden. Okay. So let's go ahead, get you to express admiration for the way Eden handled everything. I think this is the first time Catalea has seen her be a queen in the capacity that Eden has been. And it's probably... ooh! Meredith! It's the ghost of Meredith. Hello, dear. Hello. We have finally given you some peace, I hope, by putting Serana to death. And she's come to visit us, which is so, so cute. Oh, Meredith, we missed you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so she's around the castle. That's nice to see. Okay, Catalea. Let's compliment the queen. Let's offer our compliments to the queen. But you know, guys, I was a little bit surprised that Juno was, like, she had the least relationship, that she was chosen as Catherine's second. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be Catalea or Azura, just because they've joined newly, and so they wouldn't have that much of a relationship with her. But no, it was Juno. So they might have had some disagreements, I think. Okay, there we go. That is done. Catherine wants to get to know Eden as well. Maybe get to know... Oh, are you guys chatting with Eden? No, with Eden. What am I saying? Are you guys chatting with Meredith? Oh my goodness. They are chatting with Meredith. Oh, this is kind of nice, but I feel like this is the first time. So they are cousins of Meredith and Lagatha, like first cousins. And I feel like this is the first time Meredith is revealing herself. She's been wandering around the castle sometimes, but I think this is the first time she's revealing herself to members of the coven, because they've kind of resolved the mystery of her death. So that's nice. And now she's talking to Catherine, the priestess. Oh, it's kind of sweet. But where is Eden? I think Catherine, being, you know, involved with Eden, would want to check and make sure that Eden's okay. Probably even ask for advice of her own. So let's go up. Let's go up. Let's ask for, some advice with Eden. See how she's doing. I feel like in times of trouble, you guys would want to check up on each other to make sure that everyone's okay. Yep, there goes Meredith. There goes Meredith. Let's go on up. Let's check up on Eden, see how she's going. Well, Eden, it seems to be in a better mood now, but Catherine's upset. And she wants to reach out to Eden. So let's go do that. Let's go do that. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, what sentiment did she get? Friendly advice. Oh, that's nice. Motivating sentiment. Oh, she wants to get to know Eden. Yeah, that's right. Let's... I think this is in small talk. Yeah, let's get to know. See how Eden feels about this whole situation. I mean, it's pretty plain how she does. We'll go ahead and do that. And then Lagatha is doing pretty well. Guinevere is... Okay, Eden wants to... Oh, make out with Lady Catherine. Okay. Yeah, so she very obviously wants Lady Catherine's... like, she wants some affection from her. Actually, I think this is something that can be done sitting down. So let's send both these ladies over here. Catherine, don't you dare go up. Don't you dare go up, Catherine. She's gonna do it, isn't she? She's gonna do it. Of course she is. Of course she is. Really, Catherine? Are you going back down? She's going back down. Okay, well, Eden, we just have to keep it here somehow. At some point. Until Catherine comes back down. Okay, you just shuffle around until Catherine comes back. Just shuffle around. Are you joining us, Catherine? Are you joining us? Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Okay, she is. Good. Okay. Yeah, look at her. She's quite heartbroken. That's quite sad to see. And here we go. Here we go. This is a time for some affection. When you need each other to help one another through this very sad time. An unexpected time. I don't think either of them suspected what was going on in the grand scheme of things. I feel like to both of them, it was a bit of an alarm when the visitants suddenly came and were like, oh, Voldemort's dead. And then it didn't take Guinevere that long to kind of weasel out all the information on what was happening. And then she wants to stargaze Lord Ari. Is Ari her cousin? Is Ari her cousin? He is. Okay. Well, princesses, do you mind calling over the youngsters? Thank you very much. So the queen can... oh, well. she can't stargaze with him. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna have to just get rid of that because it is too early in the day for stargazing, unfortunately. Now, before we head off, I do want to be checking the calendar to see what we have coming up. So, next episode, guys, we do have... Oh my goodness, do you think Serana's ghost is going to attend? Do you think? Because she was, like, part of that thing before she died. That would be interesting. But we have Elaine giving birth in the next episode. So we'll get to see whether the dragon line lives on. And then we have the winter escape. And then, like, the day after, we've got Kyra's birthday. So I don't know if her birthday is going to fall into next episode or the episode after. We'll have to see. But we have got some stuff coming up. Some exciting stuff. And then not long after that, we've got, like, the council reappointment. So, okay, guys. With that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.